Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video for a new example on how to use GAM to manage your G Suite domain. In this quick video, I'm going to show you how you can create filters in Gmail, because GAM offers a way to create filters for users, and you can do it by either specifying a user email address or a group address, so you apply it for the users who are members of this group, or you can create it by applying that to any user who is member of a specific organizational unit in your admin console, or you can even do it for all of the users in case you are having a specific requirement for compliance in your organization and you need to find a way to create a label or to create a filter that do some action on users' email messages. Then you can use Google Vault to do the compliance rule for your organization. So basically the filters can be created by GAM, and the syntax for this command is, as you can see here, GAM user, and then you type the email address for the user, or as I mentioned, you do it for groups, or you do it for organizational unit, and then you have to type the name of the organizational unit, or I think the complete path for the organizational unit. Or if you want to do it for all users, then you just type all users and then filter. This is the first line, which is the command, and then the actual filters or the conditions for this filter. So basically you can create the filter based on the condition of the from address or the sender address or the recipient address, the subject, which contains actually it's like a specific word of the subject or the full subject of the email. I'm going to show you an example on how to create a filter based on the subject through GAM. Then has words, which means you want to find specific words in the message, or no words, and this is the opposite, where you want to apply for messages that does not contain the word that you actually want to look for. And if you want to apply this message or this filter, to any message that must contain attachment or not. So you can actually put this in the filters or in the conditions to make sure that any message who has attachments plus any of these conditions will get the filter applied on it, and any message that does not have attachments will not have this filter applied to it. This is for the conditions. And then for the action, basically you can create a label for the message. Basically you can put a label for the message, and you don't have to have the label previously. You can just type the label name here, and if it was not existing before, it will be created for you when the filter is applied for the first time. You can also tell it to mark the message as read or to archive it. Archive it means it will get the inbox label removed from that message, and if no other label is assigned to that message will be archived. So you'll only find it by either by searching for that message or by going to all mail and then finding that message there. You can start the message as well, or you can forward it to another email address, or you can actually delete it or never mark it as a spam, or put a mark on it as an important, or remove the important mark. So for an example, I'm going to create a rule that will add a label to a message, to any message actually, that contains the subject that I'm going to show you right now. You see, I have a lot of G Suite alerts in here, the failed login activities, and I want to put any new emails that have the subject G Suite alert and then alert for failed login activities. I want to put that in a specific label that I want to name it failed logins. So the way to do it, in the GUI, in the Gmail interface, you would create the filter from here, and you put the subject in here, and then you go create filter, and then you do the actions that you want. However, in GAM, and based on the syntax that we actually saw here, we're going to do it in a very simple way, which is going to be GAM, and then I'm going to apply it for a specific user, which is in my case the admin. Then I'm going to type filters or filter in order to create one, and then the condition is going to be subject, which I want to match Then I'm just going to get the subject from one of the emails. So let's open any one of these emails and copy the subject. Okay, this is copy, and let's paste it here. Then it's time for the action, which is label, and I'm going to name the label as failed logins. And also I want to archive the email message, so it will only show in the failed logins label. So once I press enter, the filter should be created for me, and I'll be able to test it after that. So let's press enter, and there you go. So we've got the filter created. Before actually going to the next example, I just want to point out that this is the ID of the filter that you get, or you will see when you create a filter using GAM. Now this is an actual ID that is stored on Google as well, and you can, I think, retrieve it by the APIs. However, this is only helpful for you if you want to retrieve the filter again using GAM. Let's copy this one, and the syntax for the retrieving of the filters is actually shown below, which is again GAM user, then the email or the email of the group, or OU path or all users, and then info filters, and you add the ID of the filter. So let's try it again. It will be GAM user and then admin info filters and the ID of the filter. So you see that the name of the filter, or the actual subject of this filter, is G Suite alert, and the whole subject of this filter, and the label, which is in the actions section, it will put a label on it and it will archive it as well. So this is actually one quick way to verify that the filter has been created and is actually active. So instead of going to the GUI, to the Gmail interface, and going to the settings and all of that, you can just retrieve the filter by directly copying the ID that you're going to get here, and then do the command of retrieving the filter, GAM user admin, then info filters, and then the ID of the filter. So this is for the first example. The second example is I'm going to forward email that contains specific word in the subject, or maybe we can change to the sender address this time. So I'm going to forward an email that comes from a specific sender to another destination. And to do that, it's basically the same command that we tried before. However, I'm going to change the condition and the action. So first of all, let's change the condition, and the filter is from, and let's type, for example, I don't know, sender address something.com. Then the action, which is going to be forward, and this time let's try and forward to tuser01, and let's see what's gonna happen. So it's telling us that there is no forwarding address and the filter has not been added. This is normal because before we do forwarding in Gmail, we have to add the forwarding address. So let's do it again. Let's take the forwarding address in here, and let's go to the Gmail interface, and let's add the forwarding address. So I'm going to add a forwarding address here, and I'll click next. Let's go back to the command prompt and do the command again. So let's press enter. You see now the filter has been added, and again, if you want to retrieve the filter information, you can just copy the ID and do GAM user, and then the username, then the ID of this filter. As you see, it's any email coming from sender address at something.com, and the action will be forwarding to testing user01. Of course, this filter will never work because there is no one that is sending to me from this address at all. So now to test the first filter, And to do that, I'm actually going to send an email to myself. So with actually the same subject that we want to apply the filter on. So this is the subject and it's going to be myself. So testing the new filter. You see, as soon as I type the subject and as soon as the draft was saved, if you notice in the background, the label has been created. So the filter is working fine. Now we just got to see the email message being added to that filter. So we'll click send and you should see that we have one new email message in here. So first let's check the inbox to make sure that we don't have anything. Then let's check the failed logins and we'll see that the email message that I sent to myself is already here now. So this is really it for the filters. It's very simple, a straightforward process. All you have to do is knowing the syntax for the command. And if you want to make an action to forward email, first you have to actually add the forwarding email address in Gmail. There is another way to add the forwarding email address from GAM, which I will be actually covering maybe the next video. So until then, I hope this was informative for you. Please don't hesitate to comment or leave any question in the comments section, and do not forget to subscribe as well if you haven't done so. And until the next video, please take care and have a great time.